Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Rewriting the Past with WCW in 1998. Welcome back if you enjoyed episode 1, and we're going to have another Nitro and another Thunder today. Once again, remember we did cancel Saturday night, so we're no longer doing the B show. We are just going to do the 2 hours of Nitro and the 2 hours of Thunder. This will hopefully be a little bit quicker in episodes. There'll be less housekeeping to go through with what the game is and the general sort of build we want to do. And we're on the road to Sold Out 1998. A quick reminder for the last 2 shows. Nitro, we set up a bunch of matches for Sold Out, and then on Thunder, obviously, we just progressed those a little bit further. We have done some pre-booking. I'm not going to bother showing that, because obviously when you're showing the game, the shows happen. That will, of course, obviously show my hand as to what I wanted to do. So without much else, actually one thing we will do is we are WCW, and if there's one thing we like to do, it's spend money. So we're going to look at some who's quite popular in the United States. We've got 60 Pop, and as you actually, I went 60 Pop in the United States, not anywhere. I don't think we're going to sign Akira Hokuto, for example. We've got Bob Backlund, Kamala, King Kong Bundy, Sid Vicious, Tully Blanchard, and Ultimate Warrior. Now, of course, Ultimate Warrior would famously come in later in 1998 to feud with Hogan, so Hogan could get his win back from WrestleMania. Sid obviously also comes back in, and I do like Sid. I just don't think we've got plans for him at the moment. And then King Kong Bundy, Kamala, and Bob Backlund. I mean, I like all 3 of those guys to varying degrees, but we're not going to bring any of them in. If we just have a look at 50, anybody stand out here? We've got Bam Bam Bigelow we could bring in from ECW. Copy what real life WCW did. And Shane Douglas. We've got the Nasty Boys. A very, very troubled Jake Roberts at this time. Paul Roma. Paul Roma, we actually could be a pretty decent job guy. He's still very good, and his popularity is pretty decent. He's definitely someone, like we've got Rick Martel on the roster, but when Rick Martel appeared in WCW, came in, had those great matches with Booker T, and then unfortunately hurt himself twice in the process and ended his career. But Paul Roma could be a guy like that. Terry Gordy, he is unfortunately at that stage now, I believe, where he is. Yeah, I mean, his physical health is not great anymore. He's had, obviously, his injuries and his drug problems as well. So we're not going to bring him in. Dan Severn's a really interesting one, because I kind of want to bring Dan Severn in, I might actually look to do this. Not right now. We'll let him be the NWA champion for a little while, and see what happens with that. But that's definitely an option. We could, of course, bring Brutus in as the disciple if we wanted to, but we're not gonna. Let's just get into the show. Let's just book Nitro. We could sign UK Undertaker, but we're not going to do that. So, backstage incidents. The Giant kept everyone in a great mood, and once again, Prince Iaukea has been getting some tips from Dean Malenko. Is that actually doing anything for Prince Iaukea? Let's have a look. Psychology. It's gone up by 2 points, and I've not used them, so that's quite good. Where are we going to hold the show? We're going to go to the southwest, I feel like, and we're going to go to the Cow Palace. Let's go to the Cow Palace. And we set up that Bret Hart was going to have his first ever WCW match on this episode of Nitro, and we are going to start the show with Bret Hart coming out, and he's going to announce his opponent. So Bret Hart comes out, announces opponent for tonight. That's how it went. But we're not going to tell you who it is currently. Bret Hart's just going to come out and say he's got his opponent. He'll see you later on tonight. Following that, we are going to have Lex Luger, and we're going to pretend Lex Luger's arriving at the building, and he runs into Sting. And quite simply, Lex arrives, questions Sting where he was at Thunder, and obviously Luger did get beat down by the NWO. Sting's just going to say he'd already left the building, man. You know, he's already gone. Right, after that, we're going to have some cruiserweight action, I feel like, and we're going to have Dean Malenko. You know what? Let's do Dean Malenko versus his protege, Prince Iaukea. They're both babyfaces, but that's fine. We'll give Dean Malenko a nice little quick win here. We'll make it open, we'll script them both, and it'll be decisive, but we'll give Dean Malenko a little win. And, I mean, if Prince Iaukea improves, I'm not opposed to making them some kind of tag team. I mean, they're both dull as dishwater, so it's not like it's really going to make a huge difference. Afterwards, we will have... So we teased that Randy Savage was annoyed, and I've got an idea for his opponent, and it's going to be another old man, and we're going to do a Roddy Piper. So we're going to have Piper... let's see, Piper accepts Savage's open invitation, wants a fight. So that's what Roddy Piper's like. You know, he comes out and he's mad. He's hot as hell about it. He's like, you know what, Randy, you want to fight? I'll fight, yeah. That's going to be how we're going to do it. Not the most exciting build in the world, but I mean, WCW kind of just did stuff like this all the time. Speaking of, we're going to have Chris Benoit. We'll script Benoit though. And we're going to say Benoit questions why he isn't #1 contender for US title. And we're going to have that with Mean Gene. And it's going to be a microphone. And it's going to be about Raven and Diamond Dallas Page. Now, obviously, they teamed together, DDP and Benoit. And yeah, Benoit's just wondering, you know, what's he got to get a title shot? Why is Raven getting a title shot? Afterwards, we're going to have another angle. We're going to go heavy on the angles in the build-up to Sold Out at the moment. And we're going to have... We need to do something with Nash and Hall, actually. But we're going to have Hogan come out. And we'll have Eric Bischoff as well. And we're just going to have him gloat. Hogan gloats about beating down Sexy Lexi, as he liked to call him. And vows to regain title. Pretty straightforward. We will have Lex not rated and Stinger not rated as well. There we go. Okay, time for some actual matches now. So we have... Who do we have tag team wise? Should we do something with the Outsiders? I really want to do something with Kevin Nash, but I don't know what. You know what? I mean, all our crap teams are all heels. I was going to say, hey, we're going to have them come out and squash, but we will have them come out and squash someday. We'll just have them face any two old people. So we'll have Nash and Hall, and they can just take out... Actually, no, they can take out Jim Neidhart, because he's a waste of space. And Martin Jannetty. We'll just have them beat up some old WWF guys. It'll be like 4 minutes. There's no real need to have this go very long. So Nash, script, and decisive. And then afterward, we will have Nash and Hall. Do we have them go after the tag belts? Yeah, we will. We will. Because obviously they did that story in real life. So we'll have them go after the tag belts. For now. So Outsiders challenge the winner of tag title match at pay-per-view. So we'll give Mortis and Raph popped in as well. Even though we all know the Steiners will win that match. There we go. Pretty straightforward. Outsiders wanting the title. We'll then go to a singles match. And we're going to have Ultimo Dragon come out. He's going to face Silver King? Nah, who have we not used? Silver Kilo? Silver Kilo, Super Kilo. Could be an option. Who else have we got? La Parka, Conan, Jerry Flynn. Don't know actually who to use. we'll just stick with our initial instinct and go with Super Colo. A nice, quick, short, get Ultimo Dragon the win. We'll make it open. They can go back and forth. We're not putting the title on the line, and we're going to have Eddie come down post match, and we'll scrap both of these guys because I do not trust Ultimo Dragon. And we'll have Eddie come down, try steal the title, leading to Ultimo chasing him off. Pretty straightforward. We'll do overness for Ultimo because I don't trust his entertainment stats at all, actually. He's actually not too terrible, all things considered. But we'll stick to overness because he's quite over. Another match. We're going to have Goldberg in action. And we're just going to learn from our mistakes here. And we're going to have Goldberg absolutely destroy Bobby Eaton. I feel bad for you, Bobby, but we need Goldberg to just keep racking up the wins, even, not the wings. Goldberg, and once again, Mean Gene is going to come out, try and talk to Goldberg. And Rick Martel is going to come out as well. And what we're going to do here is Mean Gene tries to get word with Goldberg, who attempts to walk off but is cut off by Rick Martel. And I think that'll be a fun little pay-per-view match as well. Rick Martel, I absolutely goddamn love Rick Martel. If you've not watched Rick Martel's pre-WWF stuff, oh my god, go and watch. The match has, I mean, yeah, even then, like, a lot of his stuff is amazing. And, like, I think it's Portland and stuff as well. But I'm a big proponent of Rick Martel. I think he's tremendous. But we're going to have Martel be Goldberg's next pay-per-view opponent. I think it'll be a pretty good match. And it's definitely a strong opponent, I think. In ring-wise, for Goldberg, it should provide us with a pretty good match. Up next, we're going to have Chris Benoit. He was out complaining earlier on that why is he not getting a match against DDP? And we're going to have him just beat up that Hammer, I guess. Pretty short. We'll do 5 minutes. And we'll have Benoit obviously go over here. And then that'll be Benoit basically signifying I deserve to be in the title match at the pay-per-view. I think that's the way to go. Do another little tag match here. And we're going to have the challengers for the titles, Mortis and Raph. And they're going to face off against, I think we're going to do a good team here, actually. We're going to do Ray and Hoovy. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to do Liz Marks Jr. and Hoovy. We don't want to have Ray taking too many losses at this moment in time, but I think this is a pretty solid little match. Two sort of more bruiser guys. We'll have Mortis take the win this time. Open match. We'll make it a good little match, I think. Be decisive. No taintedness here. We don't need those two guys to cheat to win. Definitely pretty strong. And then we're going to have Booker T cut a promo on Saturn just to keep our TV title feud going. So Booker T says he welcomes Saturn's challenge, expects a tough match, but he will win. Yeah, no real need to go any more on that, to be honest. That sounds good to me. Next up, we need to do something with Sting. So we're just going to have Sting talk about his challengers at the pay-per-view as well. And basically, the Stinger's just going to say, Sting warns Hogan and NWO after attacking Lex. Warns of consequences. And then we are going to go into our main event, which will take up the rest of the show. We're going to have Bret Hart in his WCW debut. And he is going to take on... It needs to be someone good. And I feel like Curt Hennig is the guy. Is Curt in the NWO? Yes, perfect. Absolutely perfect. That will do me. We'll give that 15 minutes. Classic combination. Bret, they can call that in the ring. They can call that in the ring in their sleep. Bret's going to get the win. We are going to have a botched actually, no, we're just going to have some outside interference in the match. We're going to have Rick Rude come out and try and attack Bret, and then we're going to have Sting come out and basically clear the floor Hennig, and then it's going to be the usual WCW big mess, and then Bret will lock on the sharpshooter, I forgot the name of it there, and win the match. There we go. Apologies if you hear that music. This is coming from outside my house, by the way. We will be penalised here, so we need to bump up the show. We might have to cut the Booker T promo and put a match in instead. What can we do? Can we just do a Booker T match? Booker T's wrestled on Thunder though, so we don't need to use Booker. Can we just put Ray? Ray's wrestled recently as well. I'm trying not to use our main eventers too much. Like Hogan especially, I'm pretty much just saving his in-ring for the pay-per-views. We could have... I don't actually know. You know? Pretty stuck. Should Booker T defending the title against somebody? Chris Adams? It needs to be someone good, I feel like. We've done anything buff. Script. Let's do buff. We'll give them 8 minutes. We'll have Booker T win. We'll do a cheap win. Yeah, we'll do a cheap win. And we'll make it a sports... Actually, we'll just do a sports entertainment finish. Yeah. And we'll put the television title on the line. There we go. Put that there. If I cut 1 minute off of his promo, I would not be penalised. Perfect. That will do. So let's have a look at that show. So we've got Bret coming out, Lex coming out to the building. I think that's not a wee bad wee show, to be honest. Pre-show wise, let's just get a tag match on the pre-show. And we'll have this high voltage. They can just get massacred by... I've used all these guys quite recently. They can face Brad Armstrong and Davey Boy Smith. Actually, no, Davey Boy's leaving. Let's not use him. Jim Duggan. What a pre-show. What a classic that will be. Jim Duggan obviously will get the win because it's Jim Duggan. Script, decisive. Just get some guys on the card. More than anything else. Let's do Norman Smiley and I didn't realise. I suppose Rick Martel is a face, but that's fine because we can have him basically want the chance to face Goldberg, so that's not fine. That's fine. We'll do Chris Adams. Let's do an all English team here. And heels, they can take on Jerry Flynn and oh God, we've got some bad wrestlers, haven't we? Who the hell do we have? Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker. I don't know. We'll just chuck him in. We'll give Norman the win. Everybody loves Norman. I know these aren't the most exciting matches to book, but it's good just to keep guys happy and keep them warm as well. And we'll do we'll do a pre-show main event. And we will have, who do we want to have? Pre-show main event. We will have Louis Piccoli take on Roddy Piper. Let's just get Roddy getting warmed up for his match against Savage. He can be an NWA member, and Louis Piccoli, that'll get the crowd nice and hot as well. There we go. Let's run the show. So it's a 47 overall for our terrible wrestling pre-show match as Brad Armstrong and Jim Duggan defeat High Voltage. And we're not expecting much, but it's just to get guys used, so it's fine. 54 for Smiley and Chris Adams. You know what? Those ratings, I might actually put Smiley and Adams together. You know, that could work. We'll come back to that. And then Piper puts Louis Piccoli to sleep with the sleeper in the 57 overrated pre-show match. So we opened the show with Bret Hart coming out, and he announces his opponent for tonight, but he's not going to tell you who it is. He just says it's going to be someone from the NWO, and obviously the commentators are going, "Oh my God, it's Hogan! It's going to be Bret versus Hogan, the classic WCW oversell at the start of the show." It's not going to be Hogan. Afterwards, Lex Luger arrives, and fair play to Lexi, he's done well at improvising throughout the segment. He's just arrived, he's got his bags, and he's questioning Stinger, you know, I've always had your back, where were you? And Sting's not got a good enough answer for it. So, it is what it is. Then going to Dean Malenko beating Prince Iaukea with the Texas Cloverleaf. A good performance by Dean Malenko. 57 overall, not actually too bad, all things considered. And then Piper and Savage have a little war of words. Savage accepts Piper's accepting of his open invitation. It's kind of just a throwaway match, but it'll do for now. We then have Benoit coming out, and he's on the ramp with Mean Gene, and Mean Gene, of course, is saying, you know, Chris Benoit, you have something to say, what do you have to say? And Benoit says, well, I've had DDP's back, why am I not a DDP's opponent at the pay-per-view? I deserve it. What's Raven got over me? I'm going to, you know, have to take on a member of Raven's flock later on tonight, and that's the end of that. Hogan and Bischoff then come out. 78 overall, that's pretty low for Hogan, but Hogan comes out, you know, classic Hogan, does the long walk to the ring, Bischoff standing there grinning like an idiot, and they're saying, you know, oh, what we did to Lexi, sexy Lexi on Thunder, you know, oh, blah, 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 blah. So, pretty simple, but a good use of Hogan on the TV. We then have a rubbish match as Nash pins Martin Jannetty with a jackknife powerbomb in this tag match that he's just threw together. Hall 69 overall, Nash 65. Excellent chemistry teaming together as well, which is good. And then afterwards, they basically say, you know, we're the best. Like, give us a tag title shot. We're the outsiders. Hogan's going to win the big belt back. We're going to win this. And we're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. Oh my God. Alright, okay. 357 is Ultimo Dragon beats Super Kalo with a Dragon Sleeper in a 22 rated match. Oh my God, that's bad. I was going to have Ultimo retain the title at the pay-per-view, and I don't know if I can now. I mean, he's only in the ring for 4 minutes, but still, that's rubbish. Oh God. Yeah, we may need to take the belt off Ultimo, but okay, we'll just write this whole thing off at the moment. Ignore that. Goldberg then pins Bobby Eaton in 2 minutes and 10 seconds, 59 overall rating. Gets the crowd back a little bit, I hope. And then oh, look at this. Rick Martel. Bring in the goods. 77 rated segment as Mean Gene tries to get over Goldberg again. He goes to walk away, but Rick Martel walks out and he's like, you know what, Bill? I can beat you, and I'm going to beat you. It's sold out. And then just walks away. Simple as that. Coolest guy in the room. Chris Benoit then beats Hammer with a diving headbutt in 5:24, 54 overall rated. It is what it is. We just wanted it to advance the storyline. Martis and Raph, I should have put this earlier in the show. 41 overall rated. I need to keep remembering to check if the crowd will care about any of the people in the match. Martis and Raph, the crowd don't care about. But Martis had a really good in-ring, so that's fine. Booker T, oh Christ, 43 overall. Let's just skip, move on. He then beats Buff Bagwell. They don't seem to click. Terrible bout. 45 overall. The show has just died a death. Everybody's tuned over to Raw by now. But then we've got the Stinger coming back out. 86 overall rated. Stinger is here. You know, he's like, I'm going to clear some things up. I wasn't here when Lex Luger was attacked. If he was here, you know, he would have came down with his trusty bat, beat up the NWO and saved his friend. But he wasn't in the building. And Lex is going to have to accept that the Stinger's not always going to be there for him. And then 77 overall as Bret Hart makes his WCW debut in ring, beating Kurt Hennig in just under 15 minutes of the sharpshooter. And Rick Rude came out with Hennig, obviously. Rick Rude tried to attack Bret. Sting came down and repaid Hitman for his help over Starrcade. And yeah, 77 overall. This might not be a great show. 72. Ugh. It's better than the last Nitro, but we're still ironing out the kinks. The show placement in particular is really bad. I need to get better at this. Started off incredibly hot, and then we had a dour series here. Ultimo Dragon basically killed the show. 21 regions increased, 11 losses of popularity, and we still don't have enough interesting storylines going on. However, I have looked up to that. And I've discovered what it is. It's because we don't have two hot storylines. I forgot that whole thing. Hopefully we'll have at least two hot storylines coming up shortly. We're going to check that once the game loads. There we go. Nitro got Gala TV unhappy again. We're going to lose that Gala TV deal. But we got 4.16. Mark Curtis has been offered made by APW. Kevin Nash thinks Hammer sucks, and I mean Kev's right. And Davey Boy Smith is leaving to go to New Japan. Goodbye, Davey Boy. So we got a 72. Raw got an 81. Ugh, that is what it is. Again, we're going to just have to sort of eat bad ratings for the short term until we get ready to go. Storylines, let's have a look. Our heavyweight title storyline is hot. We're so close to this one being hot. We need to add Benoit. That's part of the issue here. Benoit, where the hell is Benoit? Benoit, get the hell out of that storyline. Get into this one. There we go. Tag title storylines, the drizzling, you know what? Same with the Cruiserweight title, and we're going to get Rick Martel out of that one currently as well. We are actually going to add another one, and it's going to just be Goldberg's streak, and it's going to have Goldberg and Rick Martel. And hopefully that can give us a hot storyline. Tag title one, we're also going to add Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Let's just not be stupid here. Yeah, and then we're going to have a 7th storyline, which is just going to be general NWO things. And we'll have Randy Savage in that one. And Roddy Piper. We're just going to try and cheese the game a little bit here. There we go. But yeah, That's another show. We've lost another point of popularity in the US. Hopefully you're not watching the show on how to play the game, because we're doing a bad job of it so far. But on that note, I'll be back in just a minute. We're going to go do some Thunder booking and hopefully bring things back a little bit, because our show history is not very good. Maybe I need to just be less logical. That's part of the issue. Speaking of, Ultimo Dragon, what's your popularity? 30-31. How about Eddie? See, Eddie's recognisable. How about Ray? Ray is unimportant. Ultimo Dragon's well off the pace as well in terms of being important. We might need to get the cruiserweight belt off of him. But we'll see. I'll be back in a minute and we're going to go book ourselves some Thunder. Okay, it's time for some Thunder. We are going to be hosting this at the Nassau Coliseum in beautiful Uniondale, New York. I don't even know if Uniondale is very nice or not. I'm just saying that jokingly. But we're going to hold it there, and we need to have a smart show here, I feel like. Is there anybody good in the local workers, actually, that's worthwhile? No, not really. Missy Hyatt we could bring in, but anyway. We're going to actually start Thunder off with a match straight off the bat. And we are going to have Chris Benoit come out immediately. And he is going to take on Kidman. Actually, no, he's not. He's going to take on... I've got a better idea. I've got a better idea, folks. Better idea. 2 versus 2. No, 1v1, what am I doing? 1v1, Chris Benoit versus Saturn. And we're going to have that go about 5 minutes. And we're going to have it be a draw. And it's going to be a outside interference finish, as Raven is going to attack Chris Benoit. And then Saturn is going to be attacked by Booker T. And Booker T is going to be the one who comes out and helps our man Benoit. And then that's going to lead to Chris Benoit and Booker T taking on Saturn and Raven. We'll give that 10 minutes. That's a pretty good match. And we will have... We're going to give Benoit the loss. Raven's going to pin Benoit. It's going to be open. We'll script it. It's going to be tainted. And it's going to be a... That's good. We'll just keep it tainted. We'll have Benoit take the loss in a tainted fashion. And the Raven's going to hit him with a chair or something when the ref's distracted. And then afterwards, we're going to have Raven basically talk a bunch of mess about Benoit, saying, Raven says Benoit isn't good enough, and he has just proven that. That'll do. Simple, simple, simple. Up next, we are going to have Hollywood Hogan and Eric Bischoff, obviously tied at the hip. It's going to be simple. Actually, you know what? We'll have Kev and Scott as well. And this will literally just be NWO arrive at the arena, send a warning to everyone. That'll do it. Simple, simple, simple. We'll then go into another match, another singles match, I feel like. And we will have our boy Rick Martel, actually. We'll have Rick Martel, and we'll have him face off against Alex Wright. We'll give it 6 minutes. Thunder's a bit more of the wrestling show. And we'll have it be open, we'll script it, and we'll give Rick Martel a decisive win. And then we'll just kind of do what we've been doing. Definitely not Rick Fuller, God no. We'll talk about Goldberg, who'll be off screen, and we'll have Gene Okerlund come out and talk to Martel. And we'll just have Gene comes out, asks Martel if he's crazy. Martel replies yes. Simple as that. I'll do this. I kind of want to go back in time and book Martel versus Goldberg because I think that'd be an incredible match. We're then going to have Roddy Piper, and we'll just have him talk about Randy Savage. Just pretty bog standard. We'll also have him talk about Elizabeth as well. And we're going to have Piper warns Savage not to poke the bear, so to speak. Piper is mental. That'll do. Michael Walsh, you can road agent that, sure, why not? Then go to another angle. I know I'm probably doing too many angles, but it is what it is. And we're just going to have the Steiners. No, actually, we're going to have Rick Rude come out. And Rick Rude, is he involved in the... What? Is he not involved in any storyline? No. So we'll just put... We'll just put Rick Rude's and Kurt Hennig into our general NWO things storyline, just to give them some success. And we'll have Kurt Hennig as well. And basically, Rick Rude continues to hint that he will make an in-ring return very soon. And on that note, we'll have a tag match. And we will have the Steiner brothers. And we'll have them face Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom. And that will just go 5 minutes. Scotty can get the win this week. Script that. Decisive. And then afterwards, we are going to have Kevin Nash and Scott Hall come out and basically just beat up the Steiners. We're just doing overness. Outsiders come down, lay waste to the champs. I know we're kind of overlooking Mortis and Raff here, but Mortis and Raff, I just need them to just plug away with some wins at the moment. Time for another angle. We will have Lex Luger talking to Gene Okerlund, and he's going to explicitly call out Hogan this time. And it'll be Lex calls out Hogan for a match on Nitro. Pretty straightforward if you ask me. And then we're going to have... Right. Ultimo Dragon, it's time to redeem yourself, okay? Who can you face to redeem yourself? It's going to have to be Jericho. It has to be Jericho. But we'll put the title online. We'll give them 7 minutes. And we'll have Ultimo get the win. And we'll have them steal the show as well. I think they're both capable of that. Jericho's extremely unhappy. Okay, Jericho, keep you strong. How does that sound? He's happy with that. He'll shut up now. Okay, what's next? What is next? I think that's pretty much the main things I want to do. So we'll have Bret Hart cut a promo. And then Bret thanks Sting for his help. Says it will be every man for himself at Sold Out. And we'll have them both be on the screen as well. Okay. 24 minutes left. Who have we not used is quite good. We've not done anything with Ric Flair. Or Scott Norton. And I do like Scott Norton. So we're going to have Scott Norton come out. What's his... Is he popular? He's considered... Excellent. Scotty boy. Right, Scott Norton. He's going to come out. He's going to absolutely murder somebody. And he's going to murder... Davey Boy Smith. That's who he's going to... That's what it's going to do. There we go. Davey's going to kick up a fuss about this. I don't care. We're going to have a real New Japan legend get the win here. Davey's unhappy. Davey, you know what? It'll drag the match down, but I don't care. You can shut up as far as I'm concerned. And then we'll have our main event of the night, which is going to be... What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? I think it'll be a singles match. I mean, I feel like we should use DDP. And he can face... I don't really want to just keep using Kurt Hennig as part of the issue. Is Conan in the NWO? Conan is in the NWO. Conan, you'll do. Actually, you know what? Scott Hall. And we'll give them that 10 minutes. Make it open, Bobby decisive. Scott should be good to put over DDP. Oh, yes. Thanks, Scott. And then... that'll be our main event for the night. Just double check DDP to win that. What do we add? Well, 3 minutes left. Scott Norton and David Boy should be a decent enough match here. We're going to move Ultimo to here. Yeah. I don't want Ultimo killing the show too much again. I suppose... You know what we'll do? I know what we'll do. We'll have Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and we'll just have them lay out DDP post-match. Selling, there we go. NWO lays out DDP to end the show. Claims dominance. That will do. And we'll give that 6 minutes to end the show. And just as that's the NWO just sort of coming back and saying, we are back on top, guys. You may have forgot about us, but we haven't forgot about all you. Sort of thing. Alright, pre-show, Eddie Guerrero can take on Hector Garza. Yeah. Fun little lucha match here. Eddie can get a wee win just to keep him on track for the pay-per-view. We will also do a tag match. And we will have the Faces of Fear. Both heels, that's fine. And they can take on... Who have we not done anything with? I mean, we've pretty much used most of the guys I want to use. So I think we're going to give the Chris Adams, Norman Smiley team another run around. We're actually going to make them a team. So we're going to do Norman, and Chris Adams. And I don't have a name idea for them, so we'll just keep clicking suggest name until we get something decent. Brilliance? I know. We're going to call these guys World of Sport. That's a terrible tag team name. But that's what they're going to be called. World of Sport versus the Faces of Fear. You know what? That's a cracking match on paper, eh? And I don't care who loses. We'll give Meng the win. That'll do for the pre-show, I think. We'll just do 2 matches. So let's get into it. Right away, let's save and then go. So Eddie beats Hector Garza in 10 minutes with a frog splash. A pretty good match despite Eddie being off his game. And then, yeah, I mean, our Faces of Fear World of the Sport match. 58 overall rated. Everybody pretty much good across the board, really. So that's fine. We then open the show with a match, a rarity in WCW under our booking so far, but Chris Benoit and Saturn go to a double disqualification when all hell breaks loose, essentially. When Raven comes out, Booker T comes out, and that leads us straight into Booker T and Chris Benoit losing to Saturn and Raven after Raven pins Benoit with a handful of tights following a distraction. We'll just pretend that happened. And yeah, 64 overall rated match, good little match. Saturn and Raven have great chemistry when teaming together as well, which is very good to see. And then afterwards, just quickly, Raven just proves Benoit's not good enough. We should have made Benoit not rated, but that's fine. We then have the NWO arriving at the arena, sending a warning to everyone. An 80 overall segment. Hogan looking excellent in the segment as well, which is great. And then Rick Martel beats Alex Wright from Boston Crab, and the crowd doesn't really care at all, despite Rick Martel having a really good performance. But a 62 for his promo with Mean Gene about Goldberg, which is good. Martel improvised well, and Gene Okerlund was having a great time. So Mean Gene comes out, he goes, Rick Martel, are you crazy? You're taking on the undefeated Bill Goldberg. And Martel says, yes, he is. And he's going to beat Goldberg at the pay-per-view as well. Okay, so the good news, this got a 56. Ultimo Dragon does make a defense of his Cruiserweight title against Chris Jericho in 646 with the Dragon Sleeper, but they have no chemistry together, and Jericho completely outshined Ultimo Dragon. I am definitely leaning towards taking the belt of Ultimo Dragon. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think we can justify keeping the belt on him anymore. Roddy Piper, I forgot to put Elizabeth off screen, so we're just going to pretend that he's talking to Elizabeth backstage and he's saying, look, tell your man to back off because Piper is crazy. And that's that. Rick Rude and Crying with a great 84 segment. Rick Rude doing amazing as well, saying that, he's hinting that, he might have to take business into his own hands at this point, and Hennig agrees. I'm thinking I might make these guys potential tag champs, I think they would be excellent tag team champions, but we'll decide that down the road. We then do have our tag team champions come out, and they... I picked the wrong team to win. The Steiners lost to Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom. Whoops. Okay, let's just pretend. What happened here? Okay, and this is what happened. This is legitimate what happened. Nash and Hall distracted them. That's what happened. Let's just move on. Ignore that. And then they do come down and lay waste to the chance. But we're going to pretend this happened beforehand. Because I'm an idiot and picked the wrong person to win. You probably saw me do that as well. Lex Luger then pops up on the Thunder stage and he warns Hogan. He's like, at Sold Out, I will win the world title at Sold Out. However, on Monday at Nitro, I want you in the ring, Hogan. And we might do that match. I'm not sure. We'll see. We might do a classic WCW bait and switch, but we'll see how it goes. We then have a 94 segment as Bret Hart says, thanks Sting for the help, but it will be every man for himself. And Bret Hart has also invented a new catchphrase. Bret Hart is the best. We love Bret Hart. and 94, yeah. And if the main event can do good here, then, you know, ideal. Davey Boy Smith has no chemistry with Scott Norton and broke Scott Norton's ribs. This is what I get for using the guy who's leaving. 52 overall, Norton wins, but he's out for a while probably. And then our main event, 60 overall, because DDP and Scott Hall have no chemistry. Oh god, that's not good. Oh, please save the show. 89 overall rated as the NW come out and lay waste to DDP. Hopefully that's enough to have saved the show. I thought we had a really good show for a while, and then the last two matches really sucked the air out of the building. DDP and Scott Hall having no chemistry is really frustrating. And we get a 67. Lost their popularity in 11 regions, gained in 8. That these two matches just killed everything. The rest of the show is pretty solid across the board. We had this really great 2 angles back to back. Great ending to the show. But the matches beforehand sucked. And that's so frustrating. So frustrating, because we've actually put on a pretty good show there, I think. And we're going to continue to be at risk of losing TV deals. Really annoyed, actually. Like, I know at the end of the day, if we lose a TV deal, it's not the end of the world. But it is frustrating, and Gowra unhappy this time with Thunder's quality. However, 1.86. Nash thinks Mike Enos sucks. Mate, I gave Mike Enos the win by accident, so you shut up. Ultimate Dragon's having a grueling recent schedule. Ultimate Dragon, you know, waste of space as well, son. So annoying. So annoying. These two matches. I thought we had something good there. Davey Boy Smith's got big mirashes. I don't care, Davey. Medical. Norton is out for 18 days, so that's okay. Norton will be back very shortly. We're not going to use him, though. That's going to do it for today's episode. I'm not sure how long this is. I feel like it's a lot shorter than yesterday's. Or yesterday's, the previous one. But yeah, I thought we had 2 decent shows there, you know. But the ratings stunk out the joint. 73 is not 72 is not terrible for Nitro. And I thought we had a much more balanced show here, other than this, which I was in complete error on my part. I thought everything was pretty good, generally, but people seem to disagree with that. And we've not managed to lose another size, at least, which is good. Have we lost in Japan? 51. I don't know what the Japanese, what Gowra are complaining about. We're doing well, so they can shut up, as far as I'm concerned. That's going to do it for today's episode. We will be back again in probably a couple of days. I'm thinking every 2 days or so, if I can get the save played and edited. We're kind of just winging it as it stands at the moment, but after those were 2 decent shows. I think we're building a pretty solid card for the pay-per-view. I mean, if we pull up what we have got booked here, we'll just put Goldberg versus Rick Martel here as well, and Roddy Piper versus Randy Savage. I think this is a pretty good show. I'm hoping that this show does quite well for us as well. I mean, I think the main event should be great. I think DDP and Raven should be great as well. Steiner's March and Wrath is a bit of a risk. Dragon Guerrero is a real risk. I'm really concerned about that match, but it is what it is. Booker T Saturn thing should be good. I think Goldberg Martel is going to be great, to be honest. It's going to be a tremendous match. And then Piper Savage. Hopefully we'll just bring the rating in on its own. But that's going to do it. I'll see you guys in a couple of days' time. Any ideas in the comments? Let me know. Anybody you want to look at? Let me know. Companies, wrestlers, anybody you think we should keep an eye on to potentially sign as well. I have got some people I would like to sign. Namely, if we look at the contracts in the WWF, for example. I mean, Ahmed Johnson in 2 months could be fun. We could bring Ahmed in pre-Ahmed getting really big, becoming Big T. The big one, though, is here. 5 months, 2 weeks, it is quite a while away, but Shawn Michaels will be out of contract. Now, how this game works is you can't renew deals until the final month of their contract, when it gets to 28 days and less. So, we will be able to make an offer to Shawn Michaels, the current WWF champion. Now, obviously, Bret Hart will not be happy if we sign him. That's just something that Bret's going to have to get over. However, I mean, hatred of Bret Hart, dislike of Martin Jannetty, hatred of Brian Clark. He doesn't like a lot of our roster. But if we could bring Shawn in, that'd be incredible bit of business. I mean, if we bring Shawn in, to be blunt, I'm running Shawn Bret. That's simple as that. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys in a couple of days. Any ideas, let me know. Drop a like in the comments, the usual things like that. I'll see you guys then. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.